Hi, my name is Liz Hathway and this is my astrological look at the 2 weeks leading up to the 1st of January 2018. So I'm starting today on Tuesday because 19th of December is traditionally the start date of Saturnalia in ancient Rome. It's a great pagan feast where sacrifices were made to the great god Saturn, who, as we know, rules time, which is something none of us can escape. He's a great leveler in many respects, Saturn. And Saturn is entering Capricorn on the 20th of December. So it seems appropriate to be a day later with my look at the week, so that I'm picking up on this Saturnian theme, the Saturnalia feast, the Lord of Misrule. It's the time where it's a sort of time outside of time in some ways, while respecting time. It's a very dualistic god, actually, Saturn. So what can we expect from Saturn in Capricorn? Well, look at the house that Saturn is transiting, because there you need to take a reality check. Saturn's about durability. Do things stand the test of time? Is it real? Will it work? Has it got staying power? Saturn tends to really expose weaknesses. He tests us, and certainly with an eye to what is real, what is practical, and what is still able to function properly. If we look at something like the Berlin Wall, it was started being built when Saturn was in Capricorn, and it fell when Saturn conjuncted Neptune. So it's about things that have reached the border, that have reached, in a way, their limits. They cannot go any further, and at that point Saturn can actually create situations which require great restructuring, back to basics, back to the very bottom, and start building things up afresh. So it's about responsibility for the area where Saturn is now transiting. And we should also be very aware that Pluto's also in Capricorn, so in 2020 these two planets will be meeting up. So there's a need to prune, there's a need to get ready to take the necessary steps when things need to be reorganized, that we need to take responsibility for that. So it's a great period in many ways, Saturn in Capricorn, because Saturn can really act as he can do his work properly when he's in Capricorn. He will really get down to the nitty-gritty. It's hard work, really, in a way, Saturn in Capricorn. Hard work to really get structure in that specific area of life. So, of course, the 20th, we see Saturn going into Capricorn. And then on Thursday, we see the Sun moving in to Capricorn. And, of course, the first meet and greet that Saturn has is with the Sun. So this is on the 0 degrees, or around the 0 degrees of Capricorn. This is the axis of the world. So these are great shifts in attention, shift in focus, get down to the business and set the ball rolling, because this is these are charts that we can use for the conjunction of Sun with Saturn, or for the Saturn ingress, and we can use them with the case of the Sun to look at the year ahead, and with the case of Saturn we can follow it from the ingress through the whole 2.5 year period roughly that it will be in the sign. It's a great week, because also on Wednesday, on the day Saturn's ingress, we see Venus going direct in 23 Sag. So we might really, there's a wild element always to Venus in Sag. Sagittarius is half man, half horse. He's very connected to the instinctual side. So there could be a lot of revelry, certainly around the solstice. We can really, let or come into contact with our wilder side, if you like. It's sort of merriment to the highest level, in a way. All no holes barred, let's go for it. And that's followed on Saturday this week with Mercury also moving direct. So there's quite a bit of Sag. The planets are now really coming quite concentrated in the winter signs of Sagittarius, Capricorn. On Christmas Day itself, we see Venus entering Capricorn. So we've got this real sort of emphasis on that world axis, on the 0 degrees of the cardinal, which is really sort of encouraging us in a way to be prepared to get down to work, to do what we need to be doing. The time, I think, for playfulness in some ways, even though we're all going to have a great Christmas and we're all going to really, love the whole period of Saturnalia, which is roughly a month. It'll carry us into the new year. But there is definitely this sense, I think, with this growing group of planets now coming into Capricorn, that we need to get down to it, whatever it is in your particular horoscope. That Saturn area where Saturn is transiting, very important now. On Thursday next week we have, that's, let me see, 25th, 26th, 28th, we have Mars trining Neptune. This is a very imaginative trine. Mars is now in, it's in a very strong sign, Scorpio. It's very focused. It can cut through to the core of things, but it does it now with imagination. Neptune is a very imaginative planet. So this is great for any sort of project that involves visual imagery or music. Neptune is very in contact with the muse. So yeah, if you have presentations to make, or a film, or anything that's artistically orientated, but it's also a great time for good acts of goodwill towards others. I think I might be working as a volunteer on that night, actually on the Thursday, so it's good to put some energy in to helping those less well off than yourself. On Saturday we then build up to the 31st of December, the end of the old year. We have on the Saturday before the 31st, we have Mercury and Sag trine in the nodes. We'll probably be getting all the reviews of the year, which are really interesting because they'll give us a good overview of how Saturn in Sagittarius operated as well in its trine with Uranus. So people who are into mundane astrology, this is great. And then on Saturday we have Jupiter squaring the nodes as well. So again, this is maybe a little warning about not over exceeding ourselves, because otherwise we will start we'll come into New Year with a hangover. But yeah, the big event of the week is the start of Saturnalia today, and then the move of Saturn into home sign Capricorn. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a great Christmas, and I'll be back at the beginning of the new year with my view of 2018.